Knife Watch. Today we're going to give you 5 things you didn't know about this terrific, perfect, beautiful knife. This is going to be a positive review, so you can just exit out now. No, stop, like, and subscribe. Let's get into 5 things you didn't know about this beautiful carbon fiber knife. This is the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard in carbon fiber scales. It's a frame lock with a blade finish of satin. It's beautiful satin finish, by the way. It's got an integrated back spacer that is actually part of one whole piece of carbon fiber with the scale. And this was made in China by Ray Laconico and Owen. And so this is on washers, so it's got a decent movement. This action is fantastic. I really love it. I'm going to go ahead and say that the first thing you didn't know about this knife is it is actually the knife of the year for 2020. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Last year, the knife of the year by many of the popular reviewers was the TRM Atom, the Three Rivers Manufacturing Atom. And I think that that knife is overrated. I think that knife is everything that knife is not. The reason I say that is the Atom is beautiful. It's slicey. It works. It's modular. You can switch out the scale so quickly. But the reason I say it's overrated is everybody ranted and raved about that knife, but it was so hard to get that it was just, it became mayhem for me and myself to get one. And then when a friend of mine wanted to buy mine, I mean, the price negotiation was just so stressful. I mean, there was so much anxiety around that knife that it made me think that it wasn't really worth the trouble. It's not really a blow you out of the water knife. It's something that just is right. It's the Goldilocks size. It's got the sliciness for any EDC task. It's got the right weight. It's thin in profile. And everything about the TRM Atom, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I love the knife. I think it's fantastic. I'd love to have 10 of them in every color and in different blade steels. Of course, I'm an addict. However, this is everything that knife, I think, could have been, okay? And that leads me to my second thing that you didn't know about the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard, specifically in carbon fiber. So the thing about this knife is, I've been carrying it for a while, you can check out my unboxing, is it's all about simplicity. And this is the most simply good knife that's on the market that came out in 2020. The reason I say that is from tip to tail, it just kind of feels like a classic. It's got this utter simplicity to it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got contouring, but not too much contouring. It's a frame lock, but it's not too difficult to engage or disengage like a Strider or something like that. Out of the box, the action is fantastic. It can drop shut, but it's not too drop shutty. It's lightweight, but it's not too lightweight, like a bug out. I mean, I could go on and on. Even the simplicity of the fact that there's really nothing on this blade except for that Monterey Bay logo. We can take a close-up look at that right there. Okay, I think it's sharply done. And how understated is this blade steel right here? Let's take a look at this. M390, yeah. So that takes us to the next thing that you didn't know about the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard. I thought that there was a really fun quote from Owen, the maker. He said, "MBK only works with people we know and we are close within the industry, and we do this strictly for fun," i.e. Ray Laconico, arguably one of the most iconic designers in knife making. He continued and said, "I would not rule out collabs with other makers, but we have nothing planned. We're sticking with in-house designs as far as I can see." And I think my point is, the next thing you didn't know about this knife is that this is made by makers with supreme confidence, and you can tell. The size of this handle is perfect for me. I've got sized large hands. I can definitely pull back here and get a nice grip. I don't feel any hot spots from this clip at all. And I can choke up a little bit, and it's really no problem. It's got a sharpening choil. There's nothing that's going to get in the blade path. The thinness of this blade grind is perfect for any single task. I've been using this in the kitchen a lot. Obviously, I clean it well with EDCI before I do anything else with it. Clean your knives. Don't eat with your knives after you cut up a bunch of boxes, okay? But they've got some fun stuff that they're cooking, and you can just tell. This is an excellent size, so I want to get some size comparisons in here. To me, it's also the Goldilocks size. Let's compare it to another knife that's also a carbon fiber titanium frame lock, the Koenig Arius. So the Koenig Arius, yeah, it's really beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it's a stellar precision knife. However, for the price of this, you can get a few of these Monterey Bay knives, old guards, and the profile in pocket, as you can imagine from the size of these knives, is a totally different story. I mean, check this out, right? The thickness of pocket, or the width, the surface area that this covers in pocket, it's really hard to get a cell phone in your pocket when you got this chonker in there. Okay, let's move on and do another size comparison to another fairly popular knife. Let's check out the Hinderer XM18 3.5. You know, I've got it in my gold, okay? So this is actually just brass, okay? And this is actually also a knife that is comparable. It's got a titanium frame lock here, very serviceable blade. The blade shape is almost exactly the same as length, and it's got a very similar shape, as I mentioned. The action on it is also great, but think about all the space that this handle takes up in comparison to the old guard. So old guard still winning that. It's very, very small in hand. Let's take another knife that came out in 2020. Actually, this is the Chavez Liberation 229, which is definitely a competitor for one of my knives of the year. Check that video out, coming out soon. And this leads me to my next point about this knife, and one of the last things that you didn't know about the Monterey Bay old guard is it does feel like a large slip joint. Okay, when you kind of look at this shape, it kind of feels like an old man's knife. If this wasn't in carbon fiber, I wouldn't know that this was actually a new knife. They also have it in micarta, and I think that really is an ode to classics. I think this does deserve the name OG. When you name your knife OG, you really, really mean it. The last thing you didn't know about this knife is that this pocket clip is fantastic. The thumb stud is in a perfect position, and this is my favorite knife. Okay, can I gush about this anymore? I'm sorry if I'm not giving you as much information as you would like. I don't want to exaggerate the dimensions or talk about this no-nonsense blade shape any more than I can, but it's just a simple, timeless design with thumb stud and washers. It works. There's no quirks about it. There's no hot spots. It's the most errorless knife you can get, okay? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. With the Chavez 229, I love this knife. I think it's fantastic. I've carried it a lot since I got it, but there are hot spots. I mean, it's just frankly sharp here. It's sharp here. It's got a skull clip. I don't care about it. I love it, but I mean, this is not adding anything other than style points. Functionally, there's a lot of this knife that's perfect, but there are hot spots, okay? And you know, some people, when this doesn't have the motif, people would say it's just a pretty plain knife, but it does have hot spots. So this is a perfect knife, but some people just wish, why didn't you change the pocket clip? And then you've got knives like the Hinderer XM18, and you're like, this is a perfect knife, right? Well, it's almost perfect, right? The blade to handle ratio is a little bit off. It's not fantastic. This choil, is it a finger choil? Is it a sharpening choil? Give me a little bit more or a little bit less. Define your dimensions, right? Make a decisions. I mean, I wouldn't doubt Rick Hinderer. I think this is probably one of the most perfect knife designs ever made. It's extremely tightened up. It's like a tank, right? But it's heavy, okay? Let's not fool ourselves. It's a heavy knife that you're just not always going to need for every task. But in an emergency situation, I'd probably take that over anything. Whereas this is a knife that you just feel like there was so much restraint in the design of it. It is absolutely fantastic. So enough gushing. I'm going to get out of here before you like and subscribe me to death. Right, guys? Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. See if you can pick up one of these. I think they were sold out the last time I checked. But if you get an opportunity to check one of these out, borrow it, get it on loan, trade it for a friend, or buy one on the secondary market, highly suggest you check it out. I think this is a contender for Knife of the Year. There is just nothing wrong with it. If there's a problem with it, let me know, because I found it to be an absolute dream. It's just so easy to operate. This is an excellent, excellent, excellent first frame lock for anybody. It's not too tough to use. It's not too difficult to engage or break in like the Strider .75 AR here. Okay, this is a knife person's knife. Okay, you're just gonna enjoy the experience. It's got excellent fidget factor. It's not gonna bother you in any way, shape, or form. So if you got a high anxiety due to 2020 shelter in place, I recommend the Old Guard to calm you down, keep you peaceful, and helping you enjoy getting you through your day. This has been my main carry for weeks. I don't have a complaint. I've been looking for something that's wrong with it. Is it thick behind the edge? No. Is it uncomfortable to use in hard use, cutting cardboard and breaking down boxes? No. Is it difficult to sharpen? No. The blade was ground fantastically. I put a new edge on this and it feels great. Is the thumb stud getting in the blade path? No. Is the action difficult? No. Is it too tight here? Is there lock stick? No. Is it lightweight? Yes. Is it too lightweight? No. Is it? You could even tell that they did some lightening on the inside of these liners here. I mean, all the little things were done, not too much, not too little. The Goldilocks knife of my collection, that is just a no-brainer, grab and go, do everything knife. I probably won't ever get rid of it. But what is your knife of the year? What do you think is definitely the best release of 2020 from any knife maker, any price point? I'm really interested in getting your opinion and would hear your recommendations and take them very seriously. So anyway, that's all I got for you. If you're in the spirit, check out the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard. It's fantastic, classic, Ray Laconico design you just can't go wrong with. Peace and love. Take care of yourself and spread those blessings everywhere you can. Knife Watch, out.